too. They look good.
He's a Jets fan, by the way.
Oh, really?
So,
Yeah,
you could just tell him to shut up
Good
at
luck.
any point.
I'll catch you at about 30 years.
Yeah, one place you won't catch me is at the Super Bowl. That's one place you won't. Kind of like your guys.
I'll see you
got
there.
some
You see
beef
me
going
there.
on
Yeah.
here.
We'll play each other.
We'll hang out with the players, right?
Oh, man. Wahoo, wahoo. I mean, that just got, anyway, God. Wahoo.
But
Who says that when you walk
It goes
around?
a long way. Give me yours.
I'd say, what's up? What's going on? How are you, man?
We do that, but that's UVA.
If you meet a former colleague or a teammate from Marist,
who I will be golfing with this whole week coming up in Myrtle.
Yes. What do you say to
Well,
him?
we certainly don't bark or make like red fox noises. We say, well, we just talk like humans.
Yeah, we say what's up.
We say what's up, too.
Yeah, after you speak in an inaudible language.
Yeah, but see, I could be walking
Sound
down
like
the
going
street.
too deep.
I could be
Just
walking
hating,
down
man.
the street, and there's a dude with a UVA hat on. I don't know who the heck it is.
Yep.
I could just say, wahoo wah, and
That's
turn
it.
around and give me the pound.
That's. But what does it mean? What is the origin?
It's part of our fight song. That good old song. Yeah, you've heard it. That good old
No,
song.
I've heard the song. I didn't know
Wahoo
if it was.
Wah.
Okay.
It's kind of our.
All right, I'll stop
nickname.
making fun of it. I'm just kidding, Herman.
Just like he's just
Hey,
hating it.
Taylor. Speaking of good, and we don't know when our Wahoos are going to get good, even though I like Bronco Mendenhall, when are your Lions going to get good? And what's the aftermath of Megatron's retirement up there?
Let's start here. The Lions have gotten better. I think they have addressed some needs in the draft. They've got an offensive lineman that they needed. Robinson on the defensive side. They got Decker on the offensive side, Robinson on the defensive side. They have picked up a wide receiver to try and replace Calvin Johnson, but you're not going to replace his statistics. You're not going to replace the fear factor that a guy like Calvin Johnson brings to the table. But you now have the ability to have a quarterback that says, I have to figure out a way to spread the ball. He can't have that one favorite guy, but he's going to have to be consistent spreading the football around.
I saw an article, maybe it was a couple of days ago, where he said, basically, I got to go back and relearn our offense, right? and I kind of know what that means, because when all things go to crap, you just toss it up, and Megatron comes down to it. How good can he be? And really, has he not reached the heights that a lot of people have expected for him because he had a crutch?
When you have that clutch type player like you have in Calvin Johnson, there is a tendency for quarterbacks to say, you know what, in my time of need, my trouble, I just need to throw one up. I can do that. I think Matthew Stafford comes out of this a better quarterback, and here's why. It's because he's going to have to do what most quarterbacks who don't have those top-tier star guys have to do. You spread the ball around. You got to learn the good and bad with each of the players you're working with. And then also, here's an opportunity to say if Matthew Stafford's the quarterback that they say that he is, you elevate the play of those players around you through your decision-making, through your ability to spread the ball.
And I think that's right. I think Matt Stafford has a great opportunity. Jim Caldwell, everybody gets fired. I know Jim. I like him. He recruited me with Penn State. Then he left, went to Wake Forest. So I never got picked up by Penn State. But is he the coach?
Jim Caldwell is a coach that if you don't know him and you don't know the motivation that he brings to a team and the stability as a coach, this is a guy that brings character. He brings expectation of what type of player you need to be professionally on the field and off the field. And he holds you to those standards. And when you have a coach that does that, and he demonstrates that consistently, not just in good times and bad times, and he swaps and flops on you, Coach Caldwell's been very stable, and I think that's why you've seen a good core of players, and you haven't seen the problems that a lot of other teams face.
Yeah.
Herman Moore with us in studio, and Herman, again, if you saw him play, as much as I was clowning around, I mean, he was phenomenal. He really was a transcendent player to position. You were ahead of your time in terms of height, and it was really cool watching you play. What I'm curious about, I think you could speak to this directly, because when you came out, I said, you watch hoops, you know? I said, of course. So you're following what's going on. You know the plight of Cleveland, no championships in '64. Now, your city has been pretty fertile. Wings have won cups. Pistons won a championship. Multiple. I mean, actually a bunch. Tigers have gotten to the World Series. The Lions have stumbled. But their fans are good. You are so resilient. Can you speak to what it's like to be a player for a team at a city that hasn't won, and what you hear from the fans, what kind of cuts through and permeates into your world, if it does?
It's a passionate fan base, and because they are passionate, you know they're going to bring it every week. And you can't say that. You know, you're not going to go into Ford Field and all of a sudden they're booing you because you've lost a string of games. They're excited. They're expecting you to go out. It's not like they've erased all the things that have happened, and they're expecting good or great.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I think that goes over and it spills over into the mentality of the players to where the players know that they're forgiving. So, therefore, I think they still play hard. You got players who play hard. The talent level hasn't always been there. And that's something you have to get over in the draft and free agency or developing players within a program.
I mean, it doesn't help by drafting wide receivers every single season like Matt
When they
did.
got out of that trend for a while,
That doesn't get you a title?
Yeah, that's not going to get you anywhere because you start realizing the interior line, and anyone will tell you this, if you don't have that thing buttoned up, with your offensive and defensive linemen, guys can't cover forever, and the quarterback can't get to the skilled players if someone's repeatedly in the backfield. With the fan base, it's just always been a passionate fan base, and you can keep raising ticket prices. You can put bad product on the field, but they're going to come and support because they always believe if you have this group of players that are game changers, you got your Matthew Stafford, you had your Ndamukong Suh, you had your Calvin Johnson, and all these players, and you start getting some good free agent names, they will come back and support the program no matter what. And so given what's there now, who do you tie that season ticket to? Who do you start to sell? It's still Matthew Stafford, but you're now selling your GM. You're selling the fact that we've gone out and we've changed a lot in this program, in this franchise, and now there's a new product in town.
Maybe that's good.
It is good. And then you see that they had, in my opinion, a very successful draft. So now, again, what happens? Everyone's buzzing because they want to see what happens.
Yeah.
Do you feel the? I mean, you've become a fan at this point. I know I've been retired 10 years, so you've been retired what? 14, 15 years?
Why I gotta
He's
be
getting
retired
on you.
so many more?
Yeah, wahoo it is.
Yeah,
Making me feel old.
Because you were 5 years before me. 5 years, the more. I remember I grew up with the Moore to Moore canal. I was just hope you remember. And
That's
so
right. Your dad went
the
to
Moore
Vatech, for
was
those who
not
don't
a
know.
good thing until I became a Wahoo. But so you become a fan. You live in Detroit still. You're there.
Yep.
We've been having this conversation about Cleveland and whether or not what LeBron's pressure feels like as a player in a city that's desperate for a championship. What's that pressure? You know what I mean?
That's big pressure. The pressure doesn't go away till you win the championship. That's the only thing that gets it off. And unfortunately, what happens is when you have that type of pressure, all the success and all the things that you may have accomplished prior to that, no matter who you are, goes away. It kind of sits in the background. You know, the foreground is what are you doing for me now? What have you done for me today? What are we going to do at this moment? And unless they win a championship, I think it's going to always leave a question mark or a kind of a smudge to say couldn't get it done.
I agree. I think that there's different levels of pressure. There's the inherent pressure that great athletes like you and Tiki just put on yourself, that internal motivation, that drive. But then there's the pressure see, the Lions, if the Lions were getting to the NFC Championship game every year and coming up short, 11, 12 wins, that pressure is amplified. It's just oozing out of every speaker and every corner and crevice of the city.
But you
and
feel like
it's
you're close.
not.
But you feel like you're close.
Yes, but it almost creates like this adversarial because the fans are so tantalizingly close that it's even worse. Whereas with the Cavs, because they win 60-something games every year with LeBron, they roll through the East. It's a different pressure than what, say, my Jets feel or your Lions feel because we're really never really that close if you think about it.
It goes back to when we were back in the 90s. 6 out of those 10 years, we were in the playoffs. You got to get there first. But we won in 1991. We're one game away from the Super Bowl. And then you just keep stumbling in the playoffs. So that pressure becomes huge. And then you start seeing guys lose their jobs and the team starts being dismantled. When you don't have that pressure, I don't think you can build championship. Championship teams are built off of teams who are repeatedly having that pressure applied, and then you figure out a way to overcome that last little bit that's needed. If you're not put in that situation to begin with, you're just going to kind of go and just be very medium. Yeah.
Herman Moore with us here in studio. Of course, the great former Lion receiver, and he's a proud UVA guy.
Yes, and proud with quick lane at Tire and Auto Center. Every time we've had you on, same organization, same initiatives, whether it's around basketball or football, whatever it is. You're always out with these great initiatives here, and this one makes a lot of sense for you to be a part of. Because you know about changing careers when you retire from the game of football, right? It's what do I do? Where am I going next? The same thing applies to our vets. And so ready to serve and trading one uniform for another. Tell us what this is all about.
Well, with Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center, which offers the routine vehicle maintenance and repairs on all makes and models, they have almost 800 locations nationwide. This Quick Lane and DAV, the Disabled American Veterans, are launching a new Trading One Uniform for Another program, and it's awarding $10,000 scholarships to 5 veterans, and that's individually. That's five $10,000 scholarships to 5 military vets, and it can be used towards automotive maintenance and repair certification. And that is the part when we talk about changing one career, changing one uniform for another, and transitioning from one career to another. The military going into civilian life can sometimes be challenging, just like when we leave the world of football. And having the ability to move into a profession that will provide them a great income, provide them a great transition to a different lifestyle is key. Now, if you want to nominate a veteran, you can go to QLTrading1.com, and that's QLTrading1. The one is spelled out ONE.com.
We'll tweet that for you, by the way.
Yep,
Keep going.
and I appreciate it.
Yep.
And that will, the finalists will be revealed in November, and then we will announce the winners in December 26th at the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit. So if you know someone who this will that you'd like to nominate, now's the time to do it, and then we'll pick the finalists from there.
Your affinity for the military, is it stem? Was your dad in the military, or
Yeah,
a brother,
my
uncle?
father was, grandfather, my uncles, quite a few family members were military vets, and so there's for me, supporting our vets, I understand, and I know the significance of that, and the fact that they go out and protect us and do all these things and putting their life on the line. So when they come back, we just need to make sure that these opportunities like Quick Lane is providing is there.
It's amazing to me, because I know Tiki shares the same sentiment here.
Where are you
from Danville, Virginia.
Danville, gotcha.
Yep.
It is amazing how we glorify these C-list loser actors and actresses and leaks of porn, movies.